Well, we're here. What the fuck? Look at us.
Look at us.
Still holding it down in Brooklyn. Sean and Cass.
Are we the only ones left? It feels like it.
That I know of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We thought about that the other day. And it took us a long time. When we moved in together, we did the classic, like, new couple isolation, you know, we're just hanging out. I don't even know what the fuck we were doing, but we weren't making a lot of friends.
Yeah, I mean, and not a lot of cool people maybe lived in the neighborhood or, you know,
Yeah.
I've always seen these groups of people like hanging at the park and they're like, they're rolling 15 people deep. I'm like, who are these people?
Yeah.
How do they have this many friends? And then like finally this summer, I feel like we were hanging at the park with homies and I'm like, I'm those people. It like took 10 years of living in Brooklyn to like be the people that I was like, who are these people?
Yeah. We were rolling deep, and it wasn't even the summer, it was the end of the summer. It was really like the beginning of the fall was when we were like, oh shit, we found our people after like 9-10 years living together and doing this thing.
Yeah.
We really seemed to like find our community of people, and god damn, the best time. Just having the fucking best times hanging out with people, tripping with our friends, going to concerts, tripping at concerts, trying new things together.
Yeah.
All kinds of weirdness. And in the matter of hours, all that changed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it didn't catch up to me till like this week, I feel like.
So how have you been feeling?
Like, I don't want to say shitty. It's just like, I'm feeling like super introspective. I think like a lot of our practices have paid off for me over the course of the quarantine. Like our practices, our whole spiritual practice is about being more present. That's it.
Right.
Showing up for the moment in the
like
fullest.
Michael Jackson. I mean, oh shit.
Like
Michael Jordan.
Jackson.
I get my MJs mixed up.
Well, they were both a big hit in the 90s, you know.
Yeah, no, I fucked that up. But like Michael Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
Except for not doing much of anything.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, totally. Yeah.
Masters of nothing.
Yeah, we're definitely the masters of nothing. Yeah, we're the Michael Jordan of chilling.
Yeah.
For sure. Or at least that's what we're trying to do. Like being so present that like no matter what someone comes in that door with, that it almost like it dissolves and they get into the chill.
And I think
vibration.
I think how that's possible though in part is because we hold it down in our own apartment. Whenever I go smoke weed at someone else's apartment, I'm so blazed because it's like new sensations, new environment. You're like looking at people and you're just in someone else's energy. So it kind of makes me sympathetic or to people who have come over here and been like left and not known how to get home or
what the fuck was going on. Yeah. They just got too high, you know. That's their thing, whatever. They just got too high. They couldn't hang. But, you know, we're protectors of the vibe. That's what I feel like our real calling is. It's like we know about a vibe that's been going on for a long motherfucking time. And it's been held by people that don't take society too seriously for a long time. And sometimes it's been easy to hold that vibe. There's been generations where it's been really easy to hold that vibe. And then there's been tougher times. And I think we've had an easier time. We've had an easier go at it.
Oh, yeah, because our ancestors did all the work so that we could, you know, hang out and get shit delivered to our doorstep and everything.
Yeah. They did a great job. But, yeah, basically, everything fell apart in the matter of hours. Just slowly but surely finding out that all of our, like, this community that took us so long to not necessarily build, but to become aware of. Like, and appreciate. Because I think...
And nurture.
I think definitely community is a layer of consciousness. It's something like you wake up to and you start to discover was all around you, kind of waiting for your presence and your engagement. And we've just been swimming in it. We had been swimming in it. And then all of a sudden it just got sucked out. And I think it was cool. I was like using all of our practices and staying very present throughout this quarantine. And yeah, we just got hit with a fucking like 3-4 in a row last week of like one homie's leaving town, another one's leaving town, these people are leaving the neighborhood. That might be the last time we see these motherfuckers for God knows how long. Like a succession of those. And then, you know, now Carrie's working again, so she's like going home a few days. Like when she left the other day, it was just like, and I was like, whoa, it was just like this crazy feeling of emptiness. That's really the best way to put it. I don't want to say it's just a shitty feeling. It's just a feeling of emptiness, a feeling like we had scaled a mountain and now we're at the bottom of another one. And I'm like, whew, okay, wow.
Yeah, we're the only fools left.
It feels like that feeling of like high school's over and everyone is going off to these awesome schools in fancy towns and they're going to go start their new lives and they're just like, fuck this place, and they get out of there. And then we're the fucking jabronis who are like, no, man, we're hanging back in our hometown. It's going to be cool. It's going to be cool. And like, it's a little bit of that kind of feeling.
Yeah.
A little bit. There's another part of me that is like not even questioning that we would ride this out in New York. We're New Yorkers. This wasn't a tourist destination. This wasn't like, wouldn't it be nice to live 3 years of my life in New York? Like, this is not this. We are this place. This is what we're doing. We've been doing it for a long time. My family came from here, from Ireland to Brooklyn and held it down. And now I'm back and I'm holding it down. And this is a tough time here.
Yeah, it's like it's the next chapter will be quite the adventure. But I think you know this, like I so badly keep looking for like the obvious thing. Where are we supposed to be going? What's our calling? What are we supposed to be doing? Why are we
I feel like it's the rapture and our friends that have been good are getting plucked out.
Yeah.
And oh, we're going off to some rich person's property and we're going to be well taken care of and gardening. And it's just like, they disappear. And then these people disappear. And then these homies disappear. And I'm like, whoa.
Well, that reminds me of the lessons I've gotten, or the message I've gotten so clearly about life is, you're here because you got work left to do. You know what I mean? Like, you're not here because you graduated to like a certain level and like you get to now just frolic and enjoy. I do my best to frolic and enjoy, but it's clear to me that the reason I'm in human incarnation is because I haven't been good enough. And there's something... No, it's
You're
true.
a little angel.
No, but it's true. It's true.
Yeah.
And that's why sometimes I don't want to be... This sounds so stupid. Excuse me. This sounds so stupid, but... Like, I don't want to be too good because I like it here.
Yeah. Oh, you think you'll get sucked up to the heavens?
Yeah, if I try too hard to be too good.
And well,
that's just my excuse for, like, being the slacker that I am.
You associate being good with godliness. Like, connection with source. The clouds of duality parting. That's what you associate with good.
No, I associate with good with, like, helping people. And... So far, I'm 32, and I've pretty much been able to help myself and help you.
Yeah. You've helped my family a lot.
And I try to help, but, like, not a lot, you know what I mean? I try not to be a burden. Like, I try not to make people's lives more difficult. But, I feel like the fact that I even have money in my bank account makes me incredibly uncomfortable.
Yeah,
because I'm like, I should be I'm like a cell, and I'm, like, hoarding stuff. And I shouldn't have anything. We should all be sharing everything, and no one should be going hungry. And so, like, I'm like...
All that stuff and that money and the excesses, it's a weight. It's a weight on our soul.
Yeah.
And like the other day, we're driving past Yankee Stadium, going up to visit my parents and plant a garden. And there was a guy on the side of the road, and you were like, oh, just scrambling, try to find some money. And you handed him $5. And, like, as we kept going, you were like... That's what life is. That's what life's all about. You were like, that makes me happier than anything.
Oh, yeah. Like, it changed my whole day.
Yeah.
Being able to do that. And it's kind of ridiculous given how good it makes me feel that I spend most of my time in the apartment. Yeah.
Well, because it's not sustainable to go out there and just handing out money. And you've done that. Cass has gone to the ATM.
But who cares about sustainability?
Yeah.
Who cares about the individual sustainability? And I think that, I don't know. I just want to graduate. I want to keep graduating. I want to keep figuring out how I can show up in a way that helps more people than myself. And I feel like I was telling you the other day, I was like, we've talked about dark clouds so much on the podcast. We've gone through the shadow realm and done all this stuff. And I just am hitting a moment where I'm bored with it. I'm like, yeah, I got like little things in my life that make me this way, and there's darkness and blah, 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 blah.
Patterns are playing out. I get it.
Yeah, okay. but what am I going to do about it? And it feels like this is the next time that we're entering.
Yeah.
It's like, how can we support each other? How can we do the things that we put on a pedestal of what we hope that our government can be, our societies, our communities, and then how do you do that on an individual level without like just like being in shame and guilt and bad feelings? Like, I don't want to turn this into like, oh, poor me, I don't know how to be a better person.
Well, I mean, it seems to me like the mind responds really well to being trained, no matter what it is. So we could be training our minds to be a little bit more tame and sit when we wanted to and relax when we wanted to and not drive us crazy and go to sleep when it's time. Or we could train our minds to be better and better complainers. Mm-hmm. That's another thing the mind will respond to and run with. Or we could train it to crave sugar these times of day, or need alcohol when these types of feelings arise. So I think the hive mind is the same way. Mm-hmm. Like, I think that what the mind is always trying to do is try to take what it can sense and make stories out of it, make stories out of it, make stories out of it, make stories out of it. So I think, like, to your point, you just turned 32. It was happy birthday.
Thanks, babe.
On Monday. And like, yeah, you've helped yourself. And I think you've helped a lot of people by helping yourself. Because you've shown like, hey, I was an anxious person. I, drove myself crazy, was picking at my hands. I did all these things, and I learned how to become aware of those things and train my mind to stop it. And I think that's a powerful thing, and you're no different than anyone else. Anyone can do that shit. You've just chosen to do it. You have discipline.
Well, and right now is what you're saying is reminding me that you get what you ask for. So I guess right now I'm just like in this moment where like I'm on a podcast and I'm like asking the universe, because on this podcast I'm only ever really talking to myself and my future self, and I mean, I know other people get to chime in and hear this conversation I'm having with myself, but you get what you ask for. So if you're looking for ways to help, you're going to find them. If you're looking for ways to be less anxious, you're going to find it. So I guess that's what I'm saying I'm looking for. So I'm setting some intentions.
Yeah. I think one way of setting intentions that I think is really cool is like to try to envision a time of your life that you think is like really great or really pure, or you were really in the flow, or you were really beautiful, or really proud of yourself. And if that's something that's already happened, it's really easy. You could just like kind of draw from those memories and take those feelings and let those things seed where you want to go back to. But if you can't conjure something like that, start imagining and envisioning what those feelings would be and where you could take this thing. And
yeah, that's where the nothingness has really helped us, and we've learned that we crave that so much, is because if you can't collect, it's not even collecting your thoughts, it's collecting your soul energy, your soul purpose, your soul craving. If you're running, you can't slow down to hear what it is if you're scrolling, you can't slow down to hear like, oh God, I don't want to be such a fucking useless piece of shit, I don't want to frame it as a useless piece of shit, but I want to offer something. Okay, what do you want to offer? What feels right? All these questions. And the only time I start to ask myself those questions is when maybe we do something like this, where we like slow it down.
Yeah.
And you kind of tap into, oh, what is it that would make me more harmonious with my environment?
Well, that's what this is we're just tuning. Mm-hmm. And it's another thing. You got to ask yourself, what are you tuning for? Are you tuning to rip a solo? Are you in a band? Are you tuning yourself for one big crescendo at the end of your life, maybe in retirement or something like that? For me, what I'm constantly trying to tune is to be in the magical frequency of this moment.
Yeah.
The abundance, the love, because it's always there. Even when I'm angry, even when I'm lost in self-doubt, all the bullshit, I could feel so heavy and spun out and whatever, but it's there. It's like it's there humming along that frequency.
Funny now, because even when I get upset, I just I can't even hold on to it.
It's hard.
Yeah, because I'm like, this is so funny. Like, I'm screaming right now. I'm screaming at Sean. I'm slamming doors. I'm frustrated as
You
hell.
fucking son of a bitch.
I've
No,
never
you're
said that.
not. Imagine we fought like that. Maybe
uh,
it'll get there. Who knows? We're only 10 years into this thing.
yeah, I mean, the only reason I think we fight is like, why aren't you happier? You know, it's just a kind of a funny fight.
Pretty much.
Like, why can't you be happier to make me happy?
Join me in this moment, you motherfucker.
Yeah.
There's happiness and love here.
Stop worrying about the future.
Yeah, we don't have to be tight right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. You used to be much more, you would indulge my bullshit a lot more. So,
Yeah.
you know, it's like feeding a junkyard dog.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I get so defensive, or I like take your narrative, and I'm like, I'm gonna take your narrative and I'm gonna tell you why your narrative's not right, and now I'm like, hey, have your narrative, fuck your narrative.
Yeah, yeah.
And
And what I'm trying to train my mind to do right now is to not try for all those rewards that I know I can get during fights because of who you are
yeah,
and who
right.
you're willing to be.
Yeah.
And you're a great partner, you know, and you just want me to feel better. And I can't be going to you for that medicine when it's just me that's really going through a rough time.
Mhm.
So I'm trying to train myself to not export so much, you know?
Mm.
That's all just comes down to like take a breath. Take a breath before you start blaming or wiling out or whatever. And a lot of times when you do, you'll almost watch the world transform around you.
Mhm.
And I think that's like that little spark of everyday magic that you and I have tapped into lately. Especially like with this situation, like we have Carrie living here a lot of the time. The majority of the time since the quarantine started, we've been in this little love cloud with our girl Carrie,
Mhm.
and it's been awesome. But then every now and then you're like, whoa, is this about to be a dark cloud? Is about to be a storm cloud?
Yeah,
You
because
know?
we've done that dance too.
Yeah, and you almost prepare yourself for it, and you're almost like pre-disappointed in yourself for like, oh, I'm about to start playing out these patterns. I'm about to fucking start wiling out in some way or being insecure in some way, and or taking out my bullshit. And the second I start admitting that to myself and admitting the triggers that are going off and the alarms that are going off and speaking to them, it's crazy. Everything starts melting. Like I can't hold
Yeah.
on to it anymore. Like it starts just churning and going, and
Mm.
it's like the world just wants to purge that away. It's like I'm acknowledging it and it's getting scared and it's running away.
Oh man, I totally noticed that about you, because you've played out the abandonment narrative so many times that now you can just be like, I'm feeling abandoned.
Oh yeah. You know, it's so funny because I didn't even fucking know about the abandonment issue that I have until we started this podcast and probably talked to like fucking Abdi Asadi or some person who like just hit it on the head, and I was like, oh whoa. But totally, that's my thing, and that's what I feel like is going on right now. Like I feel like I woke up one day and all my friends left New York City, and of course I want to make that about me. You know, of course. I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck? I thought we had a good thing going. Why is everyone leaving? Where's everyone going? I get it. But it definitely hits on those triggers. And when I admit that to myself, it doesn't hit on those triggers anymore. It's like such an easy thing.
Because you can see it from the outside.
Well, I'm making something that was an unconscious habit my whole life into a conscious thing almost that I can laugh about.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Like oh, Jillian's moving to Austin. Great. And then I'm like laughing. I'm like, what? Who cares? Awesome. That's great, you know? Because what it was last week was I was saying to you, I was like, God, Cass, we've only known each other fucking 10 years, and think about how many friends we've had and people that have just like ebbed and flowed in and out of our life. It's just been a constant flow of people, and it almost seems like one really dear homie will leave and like not be as close to us anymore, or maybe they moved or something, and somebody really powerful replaces them, and it opens up some new dimension of our soul, and it's like, yes, fuck yeah.
That's like,
And that'd been going on for so long, and then all of a sudden the flow stopped and everyone went away.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably a super relatable thing, because once I started to accept that people are right for each other at different times, did I come to like so much peace and unclinging to relationships. Like that if I don't have a relationship with someone anymore, it's not like a travesty. It's like we did our work together.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that was our work. We did it, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
And we're neither of us are lesser people. We're just, yeah, opening, like you say, a new door for someone else to rock your socks.
Yeah, that's extreme grace for sure. You know, trying to apply what you just said, especially like during a breakup or something, you know.
Mm.
It's like, wow, our work is done. This is crazy. Or when someone dies,
Mm.
crazy when especially when like a young person dies or someone dies way before their time. You know, to apply that level of grace and understanding about the cycle, and that you chose form, and that you chose these friends and family and foes to come into your periphery of life and wake you up a little, and that it's perfectly natural that people are going to shed out of that,
Mm.
and that's part of this process. So that's the acceptance I have. And when I think back to where like my abandonment issues are rooted in, like my family suddenly, we all moved down to Florida, and we were grooving down there for a couple of years, and my family suddenly left Florida. Like my dad was going through a mental health crisis, and it was just clear he had to go, and he wasn't going to get the help he needed down there. And my mom had more support up here, so she grabbed my three sisters and my dad, and just one day left, and was like, Sean, we got to leave you down here. We're going to be trying to sell the house. You could stay in the house until it sells, whatever. And they just left. And like, I carried on, you know, I felt strong or whatever. I don't remember like crying or being upset, but I had to tamp down a lot of fucking feelings, you know, to go from like having that like warm, vibrant household of like my sisters and you yelling and screaming and the dishes clanking around and meals being made and just like laughs and TV's going, to no one's around, empty house
Yeah.
in a matter of hours. It was just like a decision was made, and it was just like, we got to go. Let's get the fuck out of here. And I think that, I don't know if that's what it's all rooted in, but me not dealing with that on any kind of conscious level started to allow that shit to get tentacles in my life. And it starts to affect your behavior, and especially your behavior in relationships and friendships.
Yeah.
You want to cling.
Well, it's crazy because we know that for us to have like a healthy, wonderful, continue the good vibe relationship with our girl Carrie, like we do need to take a little time where we do the podcast and she does her work and we come back together. And you know that, and you know that you need maybe a little space. We need a little space in the apartment from each other even. And then you still will have, it still doesn't mean, even if it's your idea that like, oh, we need space, it doesn't mean that you're not going to be co-opted by the
This
like
feeling.
rage of emotions that's
Yeah,
like,
that's what happened
she doesn't
yesterday.
like me anymore, she
Yeah.
doesn't want to be here anymore. And it's
Yeah.
like, no, we all discussed together that, you know, us doing a couple days where we did work at our own apartments would lead to
Yeah.
us having a better reunion or
It's
whatever.
crazy. This thing with Carrie is the fucking healthiest relationship I've ever had in my life.
Yeah.
It's so stupid that's like, but I think it's a compliment to where we're at.
Mm-hmm.
This
And
thing with Carrie,
yeah.
this thing with Carrie is more healthy than our relationship was.
And maybe then our relationship is.
Who knows? But like, since it's like, it's just starting on a really nice foundation because we've spent so much time together.
Yeah.
And like, we just naturally vibe together. Like, I think we all just naturally groove with each other and everything. But then, you know, judgments start to come up, and fears start to come up, and desires start to come up, and, you know, it's like, oh, what do I do? And instead of like whiling out, just speaking to those things and going in and through them, making those unconscious things conscious and speaking to it, it's just made this like a very nice, fluffy, cool relationship.
Yeah, it makes it kind of fun that I have no idea what our life's going to be or going to become. I keep having these moments of serious judgment, like, how come we don't know what we're doing?
How come everybody else knows some farm to go to? or some person
or
to
some
do,
plan to
or like,
enact.
oh, you know, I know I was working in advertising, but now I'm gonna fucking make pottery, and you know, so it's like, oh
We've
well,
been preparing for this moment and we're lost as
it's
hell.
because we were already doing what we meant to be, what's meant to be done. You
And
know,
it feels like we should take some sort of shift.
we're the Michael Jordan of chill. We're the Jesus of chill. We're chilling.
Jesus.
You know, and what can you do? Like, if when you're the Michael Jordan of chill, you want to play in the fucking championship game, don't you? This is the championship game.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
everyone's like,
Everyone else is getting eliminated in the early rounds.
oh no,
This is what's
see,
happening.
I was thinking everyone's superseding us, and I'm like,
No.
now the competition is crazy.
No.
Now we gotta chill even harder.
Well,
Well, the chill's not a competitive sport.
the chill don't stop.
Being competitive kind of ixnays the chill aspect of chill, right?
Yeah, you really can't. If you're really embodying Michael Jordan, it's hard to be chill.
No.
We're talking about Michael Jordan because that's one of the few pieces of media that has come out that's new that we've watched, and I think everyone watched it, that 10-part Michael Jordan documentary.
On ESPN.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah.
I love him. I love his fucking asshole ass, you know? I loved finding out that Michael Jordan was really hard on his teammates, and
He punched them in the face and shit. Like, he wasn't like a nice guy. He was hyper competitive with them on the court, off the court, in his life, you know? There's this story about some player trying to bond with him saying, oh, I have the same Ferrari. And then Jordan is like, yeah, but you paid for yours. You don't understand the level I'm operating at. They fucking give me these things, so I'm seeing in them. You know, like his competitive nature didn't stop with basketball.
yeah.
You know? I think that's in this world, I think people look at that and it seems like an enviable quality, but it seems to me like a demon. That would be
No, I think that's
really
like the
hard.
old guard.
Yeah, it is.
That's what I'm saying.
It worked.
Like there's a new guard that I haven't fully acclimated to it. That's how I'm starting this podcast off, is saying like there's a new guard that's coming. A new way of being with each other, a new way of relating with each other, a new way of operating, a new way.
Mm.
It's going to take time to acclimate to it and to show up to it and to know how to swim in it and know how to harmonize and know it's just going to take some time, and it's okay.
We're entering the realm. And in the realm, there are no bad notes. You just adjust.
Yeah.
Yeah, the music don't stop. You just keep playing. And you adjust. You'll figure it out.
Mm.
Yeah. Bob Weir used to say there's no way to practice to be in the Grateful Dead. There was no way to like you join the band, you join the band, you're on stage, you're doing your thing, and just listen. And that's all we're doing right now. That's how you tune. And it depends what you're tuning yourself for. I think that society, the way we had it structured before, and I hope it doesn't go back to that, it had us all, tuning our instruments for one big power chord at the end of our life in retirement, and we sacrifice all this time and all these days slaving away, going off to something we don't really like doing, living not in alignment with who we really are, not even knowing that we're doing that, and medicating with media, and medicating with fucking all the nonsense that we have at our disposal. But I think what we're tuning for is to show up, and the way we tune is to listen.
It's the only thing that's made being able to get through a day is realizing there's nowhere to be. There's nothing to do. All these moments that I'm talking about of feeling maybe like left out or confused or like I don't know what to do. And I'm just like, oh, just slow down.
Yeah.
Master your universe. And our universe is still this apartment, Our universe is,
Yeah.
and our reality is not some dream house we can't afford in some neighborhood we've never been to. It's whatever this is, and we got a nice big living room and a bedroom, and that's awesome.
Yeah, we don't need anything else. We don't want for a damn thing. I don't even want what we currently have. Like, I could easily walk away from all this. I don't care.
It's kind of freeing.
Yeah.
But it's also one of those things that's easier to say than who knows when things fall apart. You just hope that you can handle it with grace.
You probably act like a little brat for a second, and then you're like, if you're self-aware at all, you're like, I don't want to act like a little fuckhead right now.
We're so adaptable
Yeah.
as humans.
Yeah, totally.
You know, we're so adaptable to new realities. I think that for the most part, I mean, I know there's mental health stuff, and I know people are having a hard time, especially people who still have to work and go out there. But for the most part, the people that I talk to, they're figuring it out. They're like, yeah, I mean, we're home, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm sure a good part of why this is even possible at this day and age is because we have so many things to consume our time and consume us.
Yeah.
I haven't even read a book. That's embarrassing to say, but like this quarantine's been going on 60 days and I haven't even read a book.
No, it feels like in some way, weirdly, we've been busy.
I'm more busy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, because we're hanging out. We're doing the deep hang.
We're doing that deep hang. Let me hang out with this bong. Freshly cleaned. I was very embarrassed when I looked back at our last podcast and the bong was dirty.
That is embarrassing.
Some alien spray?
Yeah. Secret sauce.
That's nice. Clear the energy before I hit this fucker.
Yeah. It smells really good.
Yeah, it does. This is, can I have the lighter? Yeah. This one's for Gabriel. Yeah. This is his homegrown, and it definitely puts me into the 6th dimension.
How high can you
How high can you fly? We don't play music on this show anymore.
No.
Like normally, in the past, I would just cut to that song right now. We'd let that song play out while we go pee and collect ourselves, and we'd come back and we'd have like a whole new second wind for this podcast.
Yeah, when we get as big as Joe Rogan and we're on Spotify, we can play all the music we want.
Totally. Yeah. We're going to eclipse that motherfucker.
Yeah.
He's part of the old guard. He is, because like the reason his podcast is so big is because he feels in competition with all his fellow comedians and whatever. So he pops into another gear to like kind of blow everyone away the way Jordan did. You know?
You kind of need that. Otherwise,
yeah, totally.
Otherwise, we're just hanging out. And
if you're serving your inner capitalist who is in competition with everything and everyone all the time, and like, but I feel like your life would feel like a mad scramble, and I'm just not interested in that. I would rather be the master of nothing.
Yeah, and with being the master of nothing, your expectations are kind of... That's where I'm at right now, Sean. I'm like so content. I'm content. There's like this drive to figure out what's the next move or what we should be doing or how to grow our audience that I just completely lack entirely.
I don't want to grow our audience. I want to have more friends. I don't care. I mean, our audience will grow.
Who cares?
Or shrink. I don't really even know how to keep track of that. I don't know how many people listen to this.
Well, the point of this is just for us to express ourselves in a way that I think just be more comfortable in your voice and in the moment, through talking. But the happy byproduct has been that we've met so many cool, like-minded homies.
Yeah. Totally.
Because they put out their rogue signal. We're all putting out our rogue signals, and then we find each other.
Yeah.
And then we kind of creates this space where we can all be like, yeah, cool. And so now with this podcast and us being a visual component on YouTube, youtube.com/veryape, you can hang with us. And then everyone's putting out their podcast visually so we can hang with you. And it doesn't take much to do that.
To put this out on the visual spectrum.
Webcam, Zoom calls, so
it's a good time.
Populating the internets with chill conversations.
Populating the realm.
The realm.
Where the realm's not going to have the sacred texts like the Bible or whatever. It's going to have sacred podcasts. The sacred podcast scriptures. But yeah, that's definitely. It feels like if you have an idea like that, it's the time to do it.
Yeah, why not? Here we are. It's been fun.
Yeah.
I'm having fun.
Yeah, there's a level of awareness that is making this a little easier. I think that feeling that we're all going through something. There's no one not going through this really weird thing of self-isolating. It's against our nature, but we're all doing it. So there is a good feeling in that solidarity. But there's also a concern that we could get too used to this and start mistaking this for the real thing.
Right.
Because it's not. You know that. We can listen to all the podcasts in the world, but nothing compares to when Charles and Athena came by on Monday and we sat up on the roof for a second. That human to human, sitting there talking to somebody, getting to watch them, getting to hear them, getting to listen to them. And there's so many things being communicated that our senses aren't picking up. So when we make it just looking at screens and we try to make that a replacement for what we were doing before, I think it's not going to end up serving us in the long run. So as great as this technology that connects us is, it's just a little reminder. It's like a drug. It's just there to remind you that you need the thing that we might be kind of a weird proxy for right now.
Mm.
And that the most worthwhile thing to do here on this planet is to connect with people and connect with them deeper and to make more friends and to deepen your friendships and to be there for your friends and to expand what your definition of what a friend even is. Allow people to surprise you. Get out of your age range. Make friends with an old motherfucker. You know, put your heart on the line. Make friends with someone you know is going to die soon. These are all things that can really profoundly change the way you operate in the world and the way you see the world. You know, it starts to dissolve that need in capitalist society to otherize everyone and everything. So it's a radical act when you start doing stuff like that.
For sure. Amen. Amen.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Oh, how you doing? Do you want to hit this bong?
I'm sure.
Do you want to see what it's like to get confused on camera?
Yeah.
Here you go. Who's this one dedicated to?
I mean, Gabriel.
Shout out to Gabriel.
Again.
Our friend. He did a 3-peat of podcasts with us. They're all on YouTube.
3-peat.
Yeah.
Thank you. That was lovely.
Yeah.
Now I'm just going to be like...
It's weird. It doesn't necessarily do that. I've smoked this on a few podcasts, and it's not like I lose my way. I might not sound as good, but to me I sound like I'm like, oh, well, I'm in touch with something right now.
Yeah, it's one of those ones that takes me like a little out here, a little over here, up here.
You're pointing to an area above your crown chakra?
Yeah, and like behind me.
That's where the cannabis takes you?
Yeah.
Wow. Where does the ketamine take you?
Like, I don't know, man. So we have this 5-hour ketamine. And I'm scared to try it.
Yeah.
What is that even going to be like?
Well, first of all, if you're going to do this kind of stuff, you got to test it. And you should also, and we're going to do this, you do an allergy test. You take a little bit and you wait a little bit to see if you just have an allergy to this stuff.
Is that possible?
From everything I read on Arrowwood, yeah, like pretty much most things you want to do that with.
Oh, so we're going to do that with this new stuff we have?
You take a little, like, a little bit.
A little bit.
Not your, like, blast-off dose, but you see if your body, like, reacts in some allergic way. So you want to know what it is. You want to test it. You want to look it up on Arrowwood. You want to do a little allergy test with yourself. And then, yeah, apparently this stuff is, like, a dissociative that's closely associated with ketamine. It has ketamine in the name. It's called DCK is the name of the drug.
We'll do some exploring and report back.
We'll do some exploring and report back. Apparently, it's like a 5-hour ketamine adventure.
Supposedly, it's good for healing viral and bacterial infections and that sort of stuff. So.
Oh man, it's so crazy. That's so crazy. This stuff. I mean, I think you're going to be hearing a lot about ketamine moving forward into the 2020s.
I like doing it. I don't like the way it makes me look when I do it.
It's not a good look.
It's not a good look. Snorting.
What do you mean? Oh, snorting.
Well, I don't like snorting it.
No, me neither.
I don't like. I don't even know how I look, but everything else looks like this. You know, like I have to like cover an eye to see straight.
Yeah.
And then I lie back and I just like, and then I get up and I'm like, my eyes are all small. And I'm like, everything around it, maybe not the best look, but is it worth the exploration? Yeah, I mean, right now it is.
Yeah.
I don't find myself addicted to it. I feel like we do. I mean, part of the reason when we do it is I do it like once every 2 weeks or something on average through quarantine. And I don't do it that much because if you do it too much, it's not as effective.
No, we realized that right away.
So.
Because right away we were like, whoa, this doesn't seem to have any side effects. And like back in November, December, we would like do it 3 or 4 days a week,
We were exploring.
We were exploring. Yeah, you got to do what you got to do. We're figuring it out, but it's been very kind. And I think it's a pleasant experience because it just takes you slightly beyond you into a pure state of consciousness that's not associated with your body and all the traumas that it stores. So it's, I almost wonder if that in some pseudo-spiritual science way is related to why it can heal certain things.
Oh, yeah, because your body gets like rebooted in some way or energetically.
Yeah, energetically, you weren't really like inhabiting your body and all its traumas. So your cells almost get a break from the patterns and the memories, and it can shed some of them. I think that's why it's so effective at breaking a depressive cycle.
It gets you kind of out of the loop. And when you're in it, it can be a little confusing. But if you've surfed enough, you know that, okay, I'm confused. Like, you don't have to be attached to, like, will I ever not be confused? You're like, oh, cool, I'm confused. It feels like you can just, once you step over the discomfort around confusion, you can have a lot of fun in these different realms.
Yeah. The discomfort around confusion is something I think that throws a lot of people off. Like, all confusion is you not being able to keep your story straight.
Right.
That's all it is. You just, your ego wants to keep your story straight, and confusion is when you just simply can't. But like for me, it's so easy. Like when you took a chemical that might do that, why are you getting upset when it's happening?
Because it feels like it could be permanent.
I'm not in 8th fucking grade. I know everything wears. I wish it was fucking permanent.
Stop. You're like, or like that you'll never. I don't know, maybe they just fill your brain with this, like you'll never be the same. And honestly, in some ways, of course, I'm never the same after every experience I have, drug-related wise.
Weren't you just saying this morning that you're scared that we took too much drugs, that we don't care about participating?
I'm not scared about it. I'm realizing
that we don't want things.
That I've taken so many drugs at this point that I am so happy most 90% of the time and content and unconcerned with, who I am and what I'm going to achieve, that, yeah, I mean, it's probably not the best thing for everyone.
But I think you're mixed up. I think you're getting the chemical portal mixed up for you just figuring out a way to blow the dust off and uncover who the real you. You had glimpses into a better vibe that you wanted to inhabit full time on the drugs. You had glimpses at that, the high water mark. And you have the discipline and the practices and the focus to do something about it. So 7 years into a psychedelic lifestyle, you don't take drugs that often. You barely even smoke weed. But
it's true. I don't take drugs that often.
But your work has had this effect maybe that you couldn't have anticipated.
Less friction.
Yeah,
Less friction.
less friction in general. Just feeling like you're in a flow. That ain't drugs. That ain't drugs. Drugs just showed you a little bit.
No, I mean, I know I'm not like, the drugs aren't the problem. I'm grateful for the pathways drugs have allowed me. I like being in my head.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I haven't always liked being in my head.
Yeah.
So
Same here.
it's I don't know. We're just, I mean, looking for things to concern ourselves with in that one, like when you said I was scared. I'm not scared, but
Well, I mean, it's weird that we both have had brushes with that feeling of like, oh fuck, we don't seem to be working towards anything right now. Like,
yeah.
there's no plan, there's no big vision about where our life should go, and instead of trolling ourselves over that shit and bringing it into the shame and self-doubt realm, like I think we should say, wow, this is what it feels like at the top of a mountain. Like,
Because luckily life takes care of a lot of stuff for you. Or like the past takes
yeah,
care of a lot of stuff for you, where it's like, oh, if you leave yourself open to some opportunities will come. I'm not saying you don't have
not
to
only just,
dance with that
yeah,
possibility and that our heart, like planting good seeds, like doing this podcast and filming it
mm-hmm.
and being like, I don't know why we're doing this. I don't know who could possibly care. I don't know what this is about, but this just feels like something we need to do so that we can do open space for the next thing. Because if we just sit
Yeah.
around thinking about how one day we'll film our podcast and that'll be the day that we reach a new mountain, it's like, no, fuck it. Like, let's just start doing it.
That's how you become your own artistic worst enemy. And anyone out there listening that like wants to do something creative or artistic and has big visions or big goals and big ambitions, like that's awesome. Do that. But if you're having a hard time starting, do something you can do. Do something you can do today.
Right, especially if it's not perfect. And that's the part of
Oh yeah.
getting to that place is allows me to do something like this, which in a lot of ways is kind of humiliating.
Absolutely. It's beyond fucking anything that I would ever be comfortable with. It's weird. Because I remember when the Adult Swim people were kind of approaching us and saying, like, we should try out a pilot and this and that. We were like, no. Why would we do that? We don't care to be on-camera personalities. We don't really care to be personalities at all. You know?
Yeah.
We just want to have a groovy time, and this is kind of a diary.
Diary.
It's like a diary of our ongoing education and
I like
discovery
it
of ourselves.
because of how uncomfortable it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
It only feels like you're doing something. I only feel like I'm doing something when I'm doing something that's kind of uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So the podcast is starting to get to the point where it's so comfortable that we have to throw new things at ourselves to keep it a little entertaining for us.
Yeah.
Keep us engaged in doing it at all.
Yeah.
For us, not for someone else, because I don't think people are like clamoring to see our faces.
No, probably the opposite.
And that's what's beautiful, is because you get the choice.
Yeah, you have the choice. You can close your eyes or you can bear witness.
Damn. Well, I look forward to being able to have people on here and see people in person again. And if we don't,
I wouldn't even get too attached to that because I don't know if that's going to happen for a long time.
I know. That's the whole thing is releasing that attachment. I think I really want to know, what's going to become of this, when we can go see live music again, what this new reality is going to look and feel like, where we're going to be 3 years from now, a year from now, what we're going to be able to do. There's like this want, like I want to know. I want to know. Just tell me.
Yeah, I know. I feel like this stimulation detox that we're all going through right now, it's like a training period for when we do get back to times that are more stimulating. And it's like, how are we going to navigate it then when inevitably we do start mixing it up more often, when we are at concerts or back at work or only recreating with our friends and connecting with people on the weekends. I think people are going to use this opportunity to figure out how they want to show up to those moments more.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I feel like this is a training period for that. Because I don't know. It's just as simple as we can't go back to the way things were because it was making us and this planet really sick.
Yeah.
So if like this is like a drug addict going to rehab. They don't come out and start shooting up again. The idea is that they come out and they're clean now.
Mm.
They're clean and they go about their life with some more clarity and sobriety. This is that opportunity for us. We're in rehab. And, you know, like a lot of rehabs, like you don't know how long it's going to take for it to stick. So, I don't know. That's what I would hope, that we could come to a place where we're using this time for that.
Yeah, as long as it takes. That's like you're going to be a human as long as it takes. You just got to have
Yeah.
trust and faith, you know? Trust and faith, trust and faith, trust
Detox and rehabilitate. Detox from the materialism, from the exporting your problems. Detox from the anger and the blaming and the shaming and the left-right paradigm, and looking at this world as if you fucking own the place and you're not just a little visitor here.
Yeah.
Detoxing from all that,
And
rehabilitating,
like you even
refinding yourself.
matter. I mean, it's like this dance of we don't even matter. Do whatever the fuck you want. Like you don't
Woo, woo.
matter. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you're a speck of dust. We're a speck of dust. We're probably part of the multiverse, you know? How freeing is that? You know, embarrass yourself. Do paint the painting, draw the thing, just move the energy.
Yeah. I love that you're mad at one of your paintings right now. Like, that's such a fucking funny way to... I don't know if you're doing this, but like me watching you do this one painting over the course of a couple weeks, and then you think you ruined it.
No, I just think it sucks.
You think it sucks, and like you just like... I love that you're channeling it into this piece of paper with some colors on it. Like you're like, like things that might otherwise come out on me, might otherwise come out on your mom on a phone call or whatever. It's like... it's going into this thing, and
It would come out on myself. I'm like,
yeah.
well, what I'm really mad about the painting is that it started out really beautiful.
Yeah, definitely.
But it was so simple. It was just like a simple concept. It kind of looks like stained glass or whatever. And then I just like, it wasn't enough. It wasn't finished. So I just kept doing stuff to it, but with zero vision for what it was, because it's kind of an abstract painting. And it just keeps getting worse, and it's not building towards anything. And so I'm just going to keep doing layers on it, I guess. That just last night I decided, I was like, I never want to look at this fucking painting again. This is the fucking ugliest, stupidest thing I've ever done. I just need to free myself of it. And then I woke up this morning, I was like, fuck it, I'm going to keep trying. Because I was like, I can just add layers, whatever. Who cares?
Yeah.
If it just gets worse, it just gets worse. But let me at least... It's so bad right now that I honestly don't think it could get worse, so maybe it'll get better.
You sound like you're describing American society. That whole little rant, you know, everything that you were saying correlates.
So should I just give up on the painting? What do you think?
No, I think that what I keep saying to you, I don't know if it's sunk in yet, is like, well, what if you looked at it as if it's only halfway done?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying.
Yeah.
But I don't have. But part of the reason I hate it now is because I lack vision. I lacked vision until this point. Like, I got to this point because there was no vision. It was just like, all right, I'll do whatever. And sometimes I like doing whatever, and it leads to something really beautiful. But this time it has not.
Yeah.
So I'm scared to approach it again without vision. And when I look at this painting, because I think it's so freaking ugly, it's hard for me to have vision for how to make it better.
That's this country.
Yeah.
So, what can we do?
You tell me, because I'm
Well,
lost as hell.
Well, first, you know, and I think you already did this, is like, I think you woke up with the self-forgiveness. That's where it has to start. That's like putting on the oxygen mask before you try to help anyone else, you know. It's like, okay, are you being self-forgiving about it? You're not really beating yourself up over this, right? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
You know, like, and just say, what's done is done. Here's what we're looking at. Actually look at it. And look at it as something that is beautiful already because it got you to the point where you're only halfway done. and now you get to beautify this thing.
Or at least have fun with it. That's where I'm at right now. Is like I'm gonna fuck this thing up intentionally
Mm.
in hopes that something, like, I think I just need to make it like crude, you know?
Do you want to put a penis on it?
No, no, no. I meant more crude, like crude strokes.
Oh.
You know, not just imperfect markings.
Yeah, yeah. To compensate.
But I wouldn't necessarily apply that to society.
Mm.
I would apply the having fun to society though.
Oh yeah.
Because there's something about fun that seems to be in harmony. You know, joy and laughter. That's a harmonious thing. Is if you're doing the dance and you're laughing and you're saying hi to people and this is happening, you know, and not taking things too seriously. That feels to be in harmony.
When people are laughing together, like the more the better. Like that's a crazy miracle. Like that's a high note right there.
That's what it's gonna be like when this all opens up. Hopefully.
Oh, I hope that it is a love fest. But I think it'll kind of I think there's going to be balance in everything.
Yeah.
It could be a love fest, but I think it's going to be kind of like the first day of school where I think people are psyched and they want to show off their new fucking Trapper Keeper and their goddamn starter Knicks jacket from 1994 and everything's looking fresh. But then there's people that were like around their abusive parents all summer and all they want to do is start the year off by fucking taking out that rage on somebody and bullying somebody and you know, exporting and blaming because now there's more things to do that too. So, you know, it'll all be there.
Yeah, fucking prayer right now for everyone who's not having a fun time in this whole thing. It's a lot of people.
Yeah, it's really hard, especially as the weather gets better. It really sucks to go out there and every single face you see, you're not thinking about joy. That's for sure. You're thinking everyone's weaponized right now.
Oh yeah, I had like a fucking heart panic attack because a friend came up through an elevator. And it's so stupid, you know? I'm just like, we shouldn't be doing this. It's not like that's not how to do it. That we shouldn't have done that. We just gotta let it go and trust and just.
Well, I think what we have to do is pop it into another gear because this gear is about fear and paranoia. And I think that there's one about self-improvement. It's just like hit the clutch and put it into self-improvement mode.
So great because last night I was like, Sean, I need your help. I'm so paranoid about this thing, about this whatever. And you're like, hey, instead of you worrying about something you can't control because it already happened, you need to stop eating Oreos. And I was like, touche. Well, I got it.
I didn't want to hear myself say that. Trust me.
I know, I appreciate it.
But I was like, ugh, you know, you just fucking sat there and ate like 7 Oreos right in front of me. And then you're like, I got to talk to you. There was a girl in the elevator the other day. And it's like, okay. That's something that happened. You either got it or you didn't. But we can let those feelings from that moment go, and instead empower yourself and say, "What can I do for my immune system?" Yeah. Maybe stop feeding so much sugar to it.
Yeah,
but I'm not one to talk.
No, it's okay.
I am not one to talk. I eat sugar every day. And I got to stop. But God, we were like, it's so funny. This time last year, I feel like we were deep into our eating discipline. As we were preparing for the Vision Quest, we were in ketosis, which I don't even know how good that is for you.
I don't either. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it. I think you can eat less carbs and do well, but we did it for over a month and I never got that like spike in energy. What I liked about it was I never got hungry.
Yeah.
I could eat or not eat pretty much any day.
I think that had to do with it didn't have to do with anything other than you were training your mind. Your mind was responding to the training, and almost like it knows what to do once you give it the order. It knows how to get it going.
Oh, like how we don't eat until 2 p.m. every day?
Yeah.
And now even when we woke up at 9 a.m., we were like, do we even need to eat?
Yeah. Yeah. I think intermittent fasting is this is what we were doing last year. We were intermittent fasting, keto, vegan, gluten-free, like all the things.
Overachievers much. I think I think this year we're about to get into, I don't know. I'm craving a self-imposed silent retreaty sort of
Yeah, anytime.
uh Saturday, Sunday, or Monday, Tuesday, or whatever it is. Like unplugging. Like no
Yeah.
music, no sound, no nothing,
No writing,
no writing.
no speaking, no singing.
Or maybe some days where you can do that, just no phone.
Well, I'm just talking about what we did last time. That was really dope and it was effective. Where we did 3 days straight of that, of meditating all day.
Yeah, that was great.
It was great. The only thing that we did that I wouldn't do is we ate a lot. Like we ate 3 solid meals a
And
day.
every meal, it was like, this is the most interesting part of my day, so you just really enjoy it.
Oh, because we had an hour blocked out to eat. Normally we eat our food literally, like we'll put on a song or a video and we'll make it 5 minutes into it before we're finished with any meal. It's ridiculous.
I eat really fast.
You eat really fast and I've learned to eat really fast, and but like when we were doing this retreat, we had an hour for our meal. So like it was like every bite, like it's like you take a bite, you put your fork down, use the napkin, take a breath, breathe, do it again.
Yeah.
It was really awesome.
Yeah.
But that's all it is we just like we took those 3 days to tame that fucking wild junkyard dog in our head. We just tamed that fucker a little bit.
Oh, and it wasn't tame at all.
No,
The thing
it was
is,
out of control the whole time.
You don't actually tame it at all, in my experience.
You change your relationship with it.
Yeah. You're like, oh, look at that fucking dog.
Wow, look at this motherfucker going crazy again.
Blaming whoever.
Wilding
Pissed
out.
about some conversation sick 3 months ago.
Said some dumb shit to your dad. You know, whatever. I'm gonna smoke a bong hit for my dad.
Okay.
Yeah, he loves it. I had to. Man, I haven't hung out with my parents in so long. Like we are used to hang out with them like maybe twice a week. Solid hangs, like really good hangs. And I was resorting to fucking looking at videos on the iPhone that we have from our last vacation together in November when we went to Florida.
That's very sweet.
Yeah, on Thanksgiving. My dad was doing gravity bong hits out of the sink. He was like, Sean, you're gonna line up another one of those. What do you call those? I'm like, oh, the gravity bong. Yeah, no, I'm gonna be doing those all day. And then he would just join me.
The best part about it is that you guys would do the gravity bong and then walk pretty speedily over to the front door of this like condominium.
Well, we didn't want to bake out the kitchen or anything too much.
So you blake out the hallway?
Yeah, like you took this gallon hit of smoke and you just take it, run out the door, and blow it into the hallway. And it's so funny. I have these videos of my dad doing that, and I'm like, this is fucking great. It's not the real thing, but it's great.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of that kind of stuff, but yeah, I still got to get him on the podcast.
That'd be really fun.
Yeah, maybe we could do it after we break quarantine.
Have him call in.
Yeah, I can't. Maybe I won't even tell him. I'll just, just get him telling some stories and tell him afterwards.
Yeah, you still have to get his consent.
No, I know.
This was fun. I really enjoyed this.
Yeah. I think we're going to do a Church of Chill later.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you want to tell the people what the Church of Chill is, in case they don't know?
Sure. Yeah. If you don't know about the Church of Chill,
you're in it, motherfucker.
You're in it. You are it. You know, it's we started a radio show a couple years ago now. You always play the best music, and you always know exactly what songs to play and at exactly what time, and
decorating time.
Yeah, and I really appreciate that about you. And I was like, you should just record these and put them out and share them. And you do. And it's awesome. And we get to listen to them in real time. And
they blow our mind. Like,
yeah, we get our mind blown. And then it's like, why not just share that experience?
Yeah. Because like it's forced me into like deep music exploration all the time. Not like listening to the same thing over and over again. So I'm always out there, and we come across a lot of bullshit, but like also some just fucking crazy good stuff. And I love sharing it with people, and I love that a lot of times when we're recording those episodes, we're hearing those songs again. It feels like always for the first
Or
time.
maybe it's the first time we're ever hearing the whole song because you listen to the first
Yeah,
half and
and
you're
you're
like,
like,
oh, this
yeah.
is good. I'm gonna play this.
Yeah.
And then you really get to set the space to appreciate it.
Or it's the 259th time we've heard that song, and you're hearing it on headphones, and you're hearing it in a whole different way,
Right.
and in a whole different context, because you can almost feel that it's for an audience, and that they're gonna project meaning and extract meaning onto it, and it's just really cool to kind of surf that immaculate vibration together.
I'm really grateful you do it because I get to listen to it, but I never know what to play, you know?
What do you mean?
Like, I don't know what to do when it comes to music. Probably because you've been DJing for so long, but
You know you want to hear music. Like you
Yeah.
woke up today and you're like, let's put something on, and I was being slow to it, so you just threw music on.
Yeah, but I'm always like, what was I thinking? This song sucks.
Because you know why? Because you're playing it and you're hearing it through my ears.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying. Like, what's so trippy about making this Church of Chill thing? But it's so funny because when you play music, I'm like, oh, dope. Oh, wow, I can't believe Cass dug out this song. And you're sitting there like, oh, fuck it. Oh, God, I don't even.
It's you've taught me that if you're going to play music, you have to hold the vibe. You have to be confident that this is what you should be listening to. Otherwise, you're going to be like 30 seconds of the song and then you play another song and then it's like you throw everyone
Oh, yeah, we've had that.
in the room on your insecurity trip of like, oh, this song, no,
Yeah.
not this one, not this one. And then it really helps that you know what song to play, but it must also be a little unnerving because you're like, you hear it through everyone's ears, and
Yeah.
music is so important to the vibe and the energy of a room.
Mhm.
And I personally don't want that responsibility.
I don't either a lot of times. I really don't. And we have so many friends that are so good at playing music that I like happily let them take over.
You don't, but at the same time, okay, some friends you'd happily let them take over, but like most people you wouldn't want them taking over the music. I mean, the people that you don't mind is like they're out there like Jesse Jarno, you know, and
Yeah,
people who have their
that's-
own radio shows and have really put the time and energy into
Yeah,
it. And
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You know, Jesse from Serbia, like people who like have tried to cultivate a taste in music and want, like Josh Craig, want to surprise you and titillate you and
Yeah.
make you be like, whoa, what is this song? And that honestly does take effort, time, devotion, and all the different things.
Oh, totally. Totally. And I think that every now and then I earn the right to play something like really obvious. And it's fun
Yeah, I love that.
hearing those songs again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're just talking shit, having fun time.
On the Church of Chill.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we're horsing around a lot of times.
Now I'm just like, okay, we're just hanging out.
Are we hanging out?
Deep hang on the YouTube.
We're on the Deep Hang YouTube part of this thing. If people are listening to this, check out our YouTube. If not, to see how beautiful Cass is.
Please stop.
But we also have documentaries.
Oh yeah, we do have documentaries.
Yeah.
And with that, maybe we wrap this up.
Cool. Thanks, y'all, for listening.
Or watching.
Peace and love.
Peace and love.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, so
111.
I'm going to go around and turn these off. 1. 2.
Were they still rolling?
Yeah.
Awesome.
And 3. Smile. 4.